Welcome to our channel, USA Coin Spot. In this video I am going to tell you about the penny, United States of America, which are very valuable and rare. If you have them, you can take advantage of them. Top 1. Imagine stumbling upon a simple 1982 Lincoln penny and realizing it could be worth a small fortune. That's right, some of these pennies, the ones hiding in plain sight, could turn an ordinary day into one of the biggest paydays of your life. But not just any 1982 penny, only a very specific type holds the kind of value that could make your jaw drop. We're talking about a penny that has been mistakenly overlooked for years, a coin that serious collectors and high-end investors would pay a staggering amount of money to own. If you think pennies are just pocket change, think again, because today, we're diving into the incredible story of the 1982 penny that has shattered expectations and reached unbelievable prices at auction. Back in 1982, something unusual was happening at the U.S. Mint. That year was a turning point for pennies. Changes were being made, and not all coins were created equal. This is where the confusion and the treasure hunt began. The U.S. Mint transitioned from solid copper pennies to a copper-plated zinc composition, and they produced multiple variations of the 1982 penny, including different weights, compositions, and mint marks. Most people didn't pay attention at the time, but now, decades later, collectors have realized that a rare and unexpected coin was created during this transition period. A mistake that could put thousands of dollars into the hands of the lucky person who finds it. So what exactly makes this 1982 penny so valuable? It all comes down to a unique combination of factors, one that experts believe was a result of an accidental minting. The Denver Mint, which is responsible for coins marked with a small d, was supposed to produce only zinc pennies with a weight of 2.5 grams. However, a very small number of pennies were mistakenly struck using the old copper planchets, weighing 3.1 grams. These rare coins are nearly impossible to spot with the naked eye, but for those who know what to look for, they are worth the search. The reason these coins are so valuable is because they shouldn't exist. The Denver Mint was not supposed to strike any 3.1 gram copper pennies that year, making every discovered coin an extraordinary find. Because of this minting error, collectors are willing to pay extreme prices for one of these rare pennies, with auction results proving just how much people are willing to spend to own a piece of history. Now, if you're wondering how to identify this rare and valuable 1982 penny, here's what you need to do. First, check the date. It must be 1982 with a D mint mark below the year. Then, the most important step, check the weight. If you have a scale that can measure grams accurately, place the penny on it. If it weighs 2.5 grams, it's a common penny. But if it weighs 3.1 grams, congratulations! You could be holding a fortune in the palm of your hand. Auction records show that these rare 1982 copper pennies have sold for astonishing amounts. In the past, lucky finders have cashed in big, with prices soaring from $21,000 to as high as $62,000. Imagine that, a penny turning into a life-changing amount of money, just because someone took the time to check their change. So before you spend that next penny, take a second look. The rare 1982 copper penny is out there, waiting to be found. Will you be the next person to discover one? Top 2. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out some loose change, and spotting a 1985 American penny with a tiny D mint mark below the date. At first glance, it looks just like any other penny, just another 1-cent coin that most people wouldn't think twice about. But what if I told you that one of these pennies could be worth a life-changing fortune? Yes, you heard that right. Some collectors and experts have uncovered that a rare version of the 1985 Lincoln cent, originally from a proof set, has sold for staggering amounts, numbers that could make your head spin. If you're lucky enough to come across one of these rare pennies, you might be looking at a price range that stretches from $21,000 all the way up to $59,000. And the best part? These coins could still be out there, hiding in pocket change, coin rolls, or tucked away in forgotten collections. So what makes this particular penny so incredibly valuable? To understand its worth, we need to take a closer look at how it was struck, where it came from, and what sets it apart from ordinary 1985 D pennies. Normally, proof coins are struck with an ultra-sharp, mirror-like finish and are meant for collectors, not circulation. But sometimes, due to a mix-up at the mint, certain proof coin features end up on regular circulation strikes, creating a rare and highly desirable variety. The 1985 D Lincoln penny we're talking about was struck using a proof die that somehow made its way into the Denver Mint's production line. This mistake resulted in a coin that has details and finishing not normally seen on a regular 1985 D penny. Now, let's talk about what makes this coin stand out to collectors and why it's fetching such insane prices at auctions. The biggest factor? The striking quality. When proof dies are mistakenly used on regular pennies, the details on Lincoln's portrait appear sharper, the lettering crisper, and the overall appearance is noticeably different from standard business strikes. Experts and graders look at these tiny details under magnification, and when they confirm the unique characteristics of a proof die being used, that's when the value skyrockets. But here's the catch: finding one of these rare 1985 D pennies isn't easy. The US Mint produces billions of pennies each year, and the vast majority are just ordinary coins worth only face value. However, every so often, an error or variety like this slips through the cracks and makes its way into circulation. And when a lucky collector or coin enthusiast stumbles upon one, the results can be jaw-dropping. Auction records have shown that these rare 1985 D pennies, in pristine condition, have sold for amounts that could completely change someone's financial future. If you're wondering how to check if you have one of these valuable pennies, here's what to do. First, look closely at the details of Lincoln's bust. Does it appear more defined and sharper than usual? Does the overall finish of the coin look slightly different from other 1985 pennies? Next, examine the mint mark. The D should be clear and distinct, but its positioning and strike may reveal additional clues. If you suspect you have one, it's worth taking the time to have it professionally graded. A certified grading service can verify whether your penny is the ultra-rare proof strike variety and determine its exact condition, which plays a huge role in its value. Now let's talk money. How much can this rare 1985 D penny actually sell for? The numbers might shock you. At auction, collectors have paid as much as $21,000 for a well-preserved example. But for those in near-perfect condition, prices have climbed to an astonishing $59,000. That's right, a simple penny that most people overlook could be worth more than a brand new car, a down payment on a house, or even a luxury vacation. So the next time you come across a 1985 D penny, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look, inspect the details, and you just might be holding a hidden treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars. Happy hunting, and may your next coin find be the one that changes your life forever. Top 3. Picture this: you're sifting through your loose change, maybe grabbing a penny off the counter without a second thought. It's just another Lincoln cent, right? But what if I told you that a single 1973 D penny, one that looks just like any other, could actually be worth an unbelievable amount of money? That's right, one of these seemingly ordinary coins, if it's the right one, could be hiding a shocking value that could change your life in an instant. This isn't just any 1973 D penny. This is a rare proof coin, an extraordinary mistake that was never meant to exist, and it has collectors scrambling to find one. So before you ever spend another penny without looking, let's dive into the incredible story of the 1973 D proof penny, and why it could be worth between $21,000 and $79,000. Now, Lincoln pennies have been in circulation for over a century, and most people don't think twice about them. But in 1973, something unusual happened at the Denver Mint. While that mint was only supposed to be striking regular pennies for circulation, somehow, proof pennies, those ultra-shiny, precision-made collector's coins, ended up being struck with the Denver Mint's D mint mark. This was never supposed to happen. Proof coins are always struck at the San Francisco Mint, and Denver strictly produced business strike coins for everyday use. But a few of these special proof pennies slipped through, creating one of the biggest mysteries in modern coin collecting. So what exactly is a proof coin, and why does it matter? Well, Proof coins are not like your typical pocket change. They are specially minted using highly polished dies and planchets, giving them a mirror-like background and razor-sharp details. If you've ever seen a proof coin, you know they have that deep, glassy shine that regular coins just don't have. The US Mint produces these for collectors, not for everyday transactions. That's what makes the 1973 D-proof penny so shocking. Proofs were never supposed to come from Denver. But somehow they did. And because they weren't supposed to exist, they are now among the rarest pennies ever discovered. The rarity of these coins is what drives their incredible value. Think about it. Out of the billions of pennies minted in 1973, only a handful of these Denver-proof errors have ever been found. The demand from collectors is enormous, and when something is this rare, prices skyrocket. But here's where things get even crazier. These coins have already been selling for staggering amounts at major auctions. We're not talking a few $100s, not even a few thousand. No, these rare 1973 D-proof pennies have been valued between $21,000 and $79,000. Imagine finding one in a roll of pennies, sitting in an old coin collection, or even lurking in your change jar. That one tiny cent could be worth more than a brand new car or even a down payment on a house. So how do you know if you've got one of these rare proof pennies? First, take a close look at any 1973 D penny you come across. A regular Denver minted penny will have a standard finish, but a proof coin will stand out instantly. Look for that mirror-like shine, those crisp, bold details, and a flawless surface. If you find a 1973 D penny that looks far too perfect to be normal, you might just have a fortune in your hands. Now, here's the million-dollar question. Could more of these be out there waiting to be discovered? Absolutely. Not every rare coin has been accounted for, and that means there could still be a few of these hidden in circulation, tucked away in old collections, or sitting forgotten in a coin jar. That's why checking your change and searching through old penny rolls is more important than ever. So before you ever toss a penny aside, remember this. What looks like an ordinary coin could turn out to be the rarest find of your life. The 1973 D-proof penny is proof that treasure still exists in everyday places. And who knows? The next person to cash in on one of these rare coins for $79,000 could be you. Keep looking, keep checking, and you just might strike gold with a single cent. Top 4. Have you ever wondered if the pennies in your collection or pocket change could be worth a fortune? Well, get ready because there's one specific American penny that could turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary payday. The 2000 D Lincoln penny from a proof set, yes, a special version of the penny not meant for circulation, has stunned collectors with its mind-blowing value. And if you're lucky enough to have one, you might be holding on to a small treasure worth more than you ever imagined. So, before you spend that penny, let's dive into what makes this coin so special, how to identify it, and most importantly, how much it could be worth. First things first, what makes this particular 2000 D Lincoln penny so different from the ones you find in everyday change? Unlike standard pennies that are minted for circulation, this coin comes from a proof set, a specially made set of coins struck with higher quality, sharper details, and a mirror-like finish. Proof coins are not meant for everyday transactions. They're created for collectors and are usually kept in pristine condition. However, sometimes these coins make their way into circulation by accident, or they get separated from their original set, making them extremely rare when found outside their intended packaging. Now, let's talk about the key details you need to look for. This rare penny bears the Denver Mint's D mint mark, located just below the date. But here's where things get interesting. The proof version of this coin has an extraordinary level of detail. Unlike regular pennies, the proof strike gives it a deep cameo contrast, meaning Lincoln's profile and the lettering appear frosted against a highly reflective background. This sharp distinction is one of the major factors that set this coin apart from the ordinary 2000 D pennies that flood circulation. If you come across a penny that looks shinier, sharper, and almost like a tiny work of art, take a closer look. Now, why is this particular coin commanding such high prices? The answer lies in its rarity and condition. Since proof coins are carefully produced in limited numbers and not intended for general use, finding one outside of a sealed set is incredibly rare. Even more so, if the coin has been preserved in flawless condition without scratches, marks, or signs of wear, its value skyrockets. The grading of a coin plays a huge role in determining its worth. Coins graded at the highest levels, such as PR 69 or PR 70, are considered nearly perfect and are the most sought after by collectors. So, let's get to the part you've been waiting for. How much could this rare 2000D Lincoln penny actually be worth? Well, prepare to be amazed because collectors and auction houses have placed astonishing values on this coin. If you have one in top-tier condition straight from a proof set, it could fetch anywhere between $26,000 to $45,000. Yes, you heard that right. This single penny, often overlooked and dismissed as just another small change, has the potential to bring in life-changing money. The big question now is, could you have one of these valuable pennies in your collection? If you've ever purchased proof sets or inherited coin collections, it's time to start searching. Even if you've come across an unusually shiny 2000D penny, take a moment to inspect it closely. You might be holding onto a hidden treasure. So check your coin jars, dig through your old collections, and take a closer look at those proof sets. Who knows? You might just strike it rich with a single penny. Top 5. Imagine this. You're going through your spare change, sorting through some pennies, and you come across a 1988 penny with a small D mint mark below the date. It looks just like any other penny you've seen 1,000 times before. But what if I told you that some versions of this penny have sold for an absolutely unbelievable amount at auction? We're not talking a few bucks here. We're talking thousands, life-changing amounts that have collectors scrambling to find one. And the best part? This rare variety is out there, possibly sitting in someone's pocket change or coin jar right now, completely unnoticed. The 1988 penny is not particularly rare on its own. The Denver Mint produced millions of them, and most of these coins are worth only their face value. But here's where things get interesting. Hidden among these common pennies is a variety so rare and valuable that it has stunned experts and collectors alike. This isn't just a small minting mistake, it's a transition coin, meaning it was struck using the wrong reverse die, one that was actually meant for the following year's penny. And that tiny mistake has turned this ordinary-looking penny into one of the most sought-after coins in modern American numismatics. So, how do you tell if you have one of these incredibly valuable coins? It all comes down to a small detail on the reverse side of the penny, the designer's initials, FG, which stand for Frank Gasparo, the artist behind the Lincoln Memorial design. On a typical 1988 penny, these initials have a distinct style, with a certain spacing and engraving technique. But on this rare transitional variety, the FG looks completely different. It was struck using the die meant for the 1989 proof penny. The subtle design difference in these initials is what separates a regular 1-cent coin from a small fortune. This rare variety wasn't widely known when the 1988 pennies were first released into circulation. It wasn't until years later that collectors started to notice something unusual. At first, only a few were discovered, and when they started showing up at auctions, their value skyrocketed. Some lucky individuals who found this coin in pocket change or old rolls cashed in big time, with collectors and investors paying thousands to get their hands on one. But here's the real kicker. If you happen to find one of these 1988 pennies with the proof reverse in pristine condition, its value shoots up dramatically. These coins have been sold at major auctions for absolutely insane amounts. Some of the highest graded examples have gone for an astonishing $26,000 to $58,000. That's right, a single penny, the kind you might pass by without a second thought, could be worth more than a brand new car or even a down payment on a house. This is exactly why collectors are obsessed with this coin. It's not just about history or rarity, it's about the possibility of finding a jackpot hiding in plain sight. And the crazy thing is, there could still be more out there, waiting to be discovered. Many people have no idea that such a valuable error exists, which means some of these coins might still be in circulation, completely overlooked. So, what should you do if you think you found one? First, grab a magnifying glass or a good quality coin microscope. Check the FG initials on the reverse. If they match the proof version from 1989 rather than the standard 1988D design, you just might have a fortune in your hands. Condition plays a huge role in value, so if your coin appears to be in excellent shape, consider having it graded by a professional coin service like PCGS or NGC. A high-grade example could mean the difference between a couple of $100 and tens of thousands. At the end of the day, this is what makes coin collecting so exciting. The idea that an everyday object, something as small and overlooked as a penny, could turn into a massive payday is what keeps people searching. So don't make the mistake of ignoring your pocket change. Take a close look at your pennies, check those small details, and who knows? You just might be the next person to find a rare 1988D penny and cash in on one of the biggest discoveries in modern coin collecting.